Hi, everyone. Thank you for organizing this event. I'm excited to be here. I'm going to share a little bit about Drive and then myself and how I can be helpful to you all. So, Drive as a firm, we are one of the largest firms that invests outside of San Francisco or, outside of the Valley. And our founders they were growth partners at Sequoia. They were living in Silicon Valley and they saw this massively underserved market that existed in the middle of America, and then in places like Austin and Chicago and Boulder and places like that. So we've been around for roughly 12 years. We have $2.2 billion in AUM. So really, really large firm. And our thesis is that, we want to back you from the earliest stages. So that's the team that I work on. So we're investing 500K checks into really early stage teams at that pre-seed stage. And then the idea is that, you will grow and you will go to that stage of like a Series A or a Series B, and then we can come in and then take a larger stake in the company and go and lead those rounds. And then as you will grow further, as you gear up for maybe an IPO or a larger acquisition, we have that vehicle and a growth fund to invest those 45, 60, maybe even $100 million checks. We are actively investing in all stages of companies right now. And so my focus here in Austin, like they said, is, I'm born and raised in Texas. I grew up 2 hours outside of Austin in College Station. Longhorns don't hate me. But that's where I grew up, was really eager to come back and be back in Texas. And, I think Drive as a firm, we're hyper bullish on Austin and the amazing talent that exists here. So, I think for me, I primarily invest in companies at those pre-seed stages at 500K. However, if you're at more of a growth stage, I'm more than happy to advocate for you to our investment team that focuses on those types. In terms of sectors, what I always tell founders is like, just tell me and let me tell you, no, this isn't a fit. Don't be afraid don't overly study our website and assume that there's not a company that exists within your category and assume it's a no. Like, let me tell you that, and I'll tell you why. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about us. And I think in terms of just how everyone can be helpful here and then how I can be helpful to you all, I would love to meet, hyper-focused operators, hyper-focused founders that are building from day one. And I can follow you in from day of inception up to when you're fundraising. We don't necessarily need to meet when you're formally raising or when you're formally opening your round. I think the best types of relationships exist before a lot of that happens, and sometimes before a deck even exists. So that's how I can be the most helpful. And then if, there's obviously founders here that are raising, more than happy to talk. And then if really interesting people that exist here within this ecosystem, I live not even 10 minutes from here. So I'm very rooted here. If you see me walking around with my dog Penny, please come and say hi. And I'm really excited to be here in this room with you all. And please follow up with me. It's just my first name at drivecapital.com. So thank you. Amazing. Thank